Hello and welcome to the British Dapper, and today we're looking at the top 5 fashion trends for the modern gentleman. So in today's video we're just looking at the top 5 trends that I've noticed over the last few weeks and how I think this is going to influence the next few months. Whilst we're still in January at the moment, we are heading towards spring-like conditions, and so it won't be long before warmer weather will be on its way, and that might influence what we're going to wear in the near future. So recently I've seen a lot of neutral tones being used, in that they're light brown colours, caramels, fawn colours, beige. Some other colours like tobacco are coming through as well, and the lighter colours are coming through in the shoes as well as we head into spring. But what they're doing is they're adding a spot of colour. For example, the pocket square might be a little bit brighter, or the tie used might be a little bit brighter in its accent, to make that pop of colour and that bit of interest. But equally, greens are being used as well in that process. But we're talking about just the odd pop of colour. And that brings me on to the second thing that I've noticed, and that is tweed, still very popular. And tweed goes really well with that casual look, with a pair of jeans or chinos or a pair of dress trousers even. For example, flannel trousers are brilliant for that look, or cavalry trill trousers. But the colour of the tweed is quite interesting. Very popular at the moment is those oatmeal colours, those light browns coming through, and they're not heading towards the darker colours. For example, you might see dark greens being used, or dark blues, or those sort of heavier colours are not coming through at this moment. And people are focusing more on those lighter shades in their tweed jackets. So for example, instead of a dark forest green tweed jacket, we're seeing very commonly used now from a fashion point of view, where we're seeing grassy tones or hay-like colours coming through. Something else that I've seen growing or extending from the previous year, and that is peaked lapels, or larger, wider lapels on the jackets. So we're moving away from those narrow tapered lapels and much more beefier lapels to look at. And aesthetically, I always feel a wider peak lapel being really quite an elegant look, and that seems to be coming back into fashion at the moment. Although we are talking about a classical look most of the time, it doesn't hurt to take an inference from, for example, the current trends in the way we dress classically. And that brings me on to the next subject, which is suits and jackets in general, and trousers. They're becoming a much more looser fit, a much more roomier fit. We're moving well away from the skinny, tight-fitted suits, jackets or trousers. And whilst this has happened for the last 2 years, fashion's moved on, we have still the shops or stores where we still see those items still being sold whilst stock lasts. But we are now seeing a different change in the actual stores, where they are showing a much more relaxed, comfortable fit, rather than that skinny fit being predominant. And what I would say with that is that means the cut of the trousers are a little bit more roomy. They're not so restricted in the leg, so we're looking at more of a regular fit in the leg. And we're also seeing that pleat coming back in the trousers. And particularly at the moment, there's a growing look in that statement look of, for example, the side adjusters being very prominent at the moment, rather than belts and belt loops. And that overall aesthetic goes really well with the pleated or double pleated front trousers with a tapered leg, a turn up at the end or a cuff, and even without the cuff it's still a really good look, but it's much more roomier around the upper thigh and waist area. Suits are a little bit more relaxed, a bit more generous in the cut in the chest, and we're seeing those larger lapels coming through. Whether that's a suit or whether that is actually just a jacket, that is one of the main changes I've noticed of late. So according to the current fashion trends, there's been an increase in the wearing of hats. Now, whilst that's predominantly baseball caps, and it's not something we would look at from a sartorial point of view, I would notice that other forms of hats have increased in their wear as well. Particularly the baker boy cap, the flat cap, have increased a lot in their popularity, and I would also say that Trilbys and fedoras have started to increase the amount of people wearing those. Now obviously a lot of influence is taken from a lot of media, for example pop stars and fashion gurus have promoted the use of the fedora and the trilby as an example, and there are little groups of people that particularly wear those sort of hats because it's very fashionable for somebody that, for example, is into that type of look. But nevertheless, the increase is there to be seen. People are wearing more hats, and hopefully, whilst baseball caps are becoming much more common, that will spill over potentially as people get older into people wearing more sartorially based hats. For example, it could be, we move towards more people wearing those flat caps and those baker boy caps, and everything moves up a little bit in, for example, where people are wearing more and more formalized hats. So just a short video today just to promote the 5 things that I see a change in the wind. I see things that have changed slightly over the last few months, and I can see them progressing into the summer period as well. So those colour schemes seem to be very prominent at the moment, and I think they will be the hallmark of spring, summer this year. So let me know what you think and what you've observed whilst out and about. I would also say that shoes have changed in colour as well. We are now moving into spring-like colours, and you'll start to see lighter coloured shoes in the next few months coming out, rather than those darker toned shoes. But let me know what you think about the things that you've observed locally or nationally, and also just a reminder that in the next few weeks we're going to be rolling out our Patreon page, so keep an eye out for that in the near future. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe, then please feel free to do so. We have a Buy Me a Coffee page, so if you'd like to make a contribution to the channel, then please feel free to do so. We also love constructive comments, so if you'd like to make some, jot them down below. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. And if you've got a question you'd like to pose to us or you'd like an answer to, then why not jot it down? We'll try and answer your question for you. We also like ideas for future videos, so if you want to make a contribution and make a suggestion about future content, then please, again, jot it in the notes below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. The next video could be something that you've recommended or suggested. So until next time, take care.